Hello, my rats, and welcome to a Ratitude Check. Are you ready for a Ratitude Check with an esthetician? I've been promising it for so long. Pretty much since the beginning of this podcast, I've been manifesting Jackie coming on because she's the girl that helped me get my wedding skin. And honestly, we've known each other now for 4 years.
Long time, yeah.
Yeah? Is
4
it
years.
3 or 4? Yeah. So let's just get your background first because I like when I have like actual professionals on to like properly say their like how do you call yourself? An esthetician?
So I like to say that I'm a certified medical esthetician.
There you go.
I went to school for it. I have my diploma for it. Do on-curring, what's it called? On-curring education?
Sure.
Where I just continue to like take courses.
Okay.
What's that called? What's that called?
Oh, like just the word for when you continue to learn?
Anyways.
She's constantly learning and adapting.
I'm constantly learning and adapting, for sure.
Which I love because honestly, there's been times, and we can go over maybe like war stories of like bad facials that we've gotten. I don't know if any of the rats have had a bad facial, but that actually exists. And it's even more tragic because you think you're treating yourself and then it goes bad. But I've been places where they're just not up on like the technology of like how to do extractions or like, and then you hear online, don't do extractions. So we can get into all that, but I think that's really neat that you like continue to learn.
For sure. It's very important.
And you like the devices, right? Like your studio, would you call it a studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say studio because we're not at a spa.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more cozy.
Yes, it's really nice. But yeah, so so you started your own business.
I did. We're reaching the year mark.
Wow.
Which is insane.
That's exciting.
I can't believe it's been a year.
Yeah.
Because to think that I was so scared I wasn't even going to get 10 people in the door.
Aww.
And I think I've done over 100 facials.
That's amazing.
Which is insane
In
to
a
me.
year?
In a year. So I'm very thankful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I've gotten many a facial at Jackie's studio, and I've always loved it, but I was honestly shocked, like the first time I went, and even just like some of the sanitation things you have under control, and I remember laying there and being like, how many bad facials have I actually gotten in my lifetime? So do you want to like spill the tea on like, how does that go? Like, is that a personal choice, or should everything be up to that standard?
Everything absolutely should always be up to that standard.
Wow.
That's one of the first things that we learned in school. And when you think about it, when you go and get a surgery, like it's basically the same thing. There's professionals working on your body. I'm working on your face. One of the first things that people see, right? Yeah. There's no excuse for not keeping like sanitation standards or not wearing gloves during extractions or touching your phone and then touching the client's face, which I've seen that so much. There's so many videos that I see online of estheticians in this city who are posting it on their pages, and I'm like, why aren't they wearing gloves when they're doing dermaplaning?
Wow.
Like, the last thing you need is for you to cut yourself while you're dermaplaning somebody's face and getting your own blood on them or in their mouth. Ugh, I just can't even, like, all of the things that I see online that is so scary.
That is really scary. And, like, it scares me because it's like, I've been going, because I've had acne forever, which the rats know, but, like, I've been going for facials since I was 18. Like, do you think I knew the difference between what I should expect or not? Like, I remember the first time I went, and I got in the car, and my parents had, like, bought it for me because they were worried about my acne, and, like, she had given me this, there's been 2 really bad things. She gave me this cream, and then I'm using it, and the next time I came to her, and I was like, my face is, like, on fire, like, something's wrong, and she's like, oh, you were only supposed to use that once a week, and she never told me. She just, like, gave me this, like, prescription grade whatever, so I damaged my skin barrier. And another time, this lady wanted to do the extraction so badly, she used the, like, the tool to press on my skin and her finger. Like, but
at the same time?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what is it called with it's not dermaplaning, it's the microabrasion kind of device.
Yeah,
she was like digging that into my face, and I was like crying. Like, it hurt so bad.
I don't know what it stems from. It's honestly just bad habits that people pick up.
Right.
Because the very first job that I took when I graduated the girl had so many bad habits. Like my boss, who was supposed to be teaching me, she would touch her phone and then touch the client's face. Like if a product would drop on the counter, she would pick it up with her fingers and put it back.
No.
Like and then use it on the client's face. These are all things that you just is a no-no. Like you should know from the beginning, because you're transferring so much bacteria and germs onto the client's skin that can, cause breakouts or irritation or infection. Even worse. But it's funny. I just think it's just bad habits that people pick up, and I don't know where they learned it from, but they just either don't know, or they're just uneducated.
They got maybe lazy or something.
They got lazy. They're uneducated about it.
Oh God. So for the rats then, let's go over some green flags and let's go over some red flags then.
Okay.
So if I show up at a studio, what would be like a number one red flag for you?
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, I'm trying to help people, because it's like, how we don't know all these things. You guys definitely know these things.
Okay.
But for example, like the gloves, I never really knew that they should be wearing gloves.
So let's start from the beginning. If you're going to get a facial and she doesn't even ask you about like your health history, if you're on any medication, if you're allergic to anything, like if you don't fill out any forms, red flag.
Okay.
Because that's like, I need to know so that I don't use something that is not going to be good for your skin.
Yep.
Right? That's a red flag.
It's so funny, because it's like, that is so simple, and I wouldn't have been able to come up with that myself.
Yeah.
That's obviously a red flag.
You need to fill out forms for the safety for yourself, and should be the safety for the tech, like the professional.
Right.
Again, for dermaplaning, when you're doing services like laser hair removal, dermaplaning, microneedling, they need to be wearing gloves.
Yeah.
Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Right.
Like, they should be wearing gloves before doing any of those treatments on your skin.
Right.
And I don't have my credentials on the wall because I just haven't put them up yet. But if they don't have their credentials on the wall and you ask them, like, where'd you go to school, whatever, and they don't want to answer you, obviously, red flag.
Red flag.
Huge red flag. I have clients who will ask me before booking, like, where'd you get your education? And, like, why wouldn't I want to tell them?
Yes.
Right?
Facts.
Like, no problem.
Yeah.
So those are some important red
Those
flags.
are really good. So I guess obviously the opposite would be green flags. So like someone that's telling you their credentials, wearing gloves, and made you sign waivers. So those are your top three probably.
Wanting to ask you about your skin and like what you do and what your skincare routine is like. And another red flag for me that I didn't mention is when you're going to a spa or an esthetician and all they care about is like selling you products. Like, I almost never sell any products until my client's like third, fourth, fifth time in to see me, because I need to see that my products are working on them first.
Oh my God. Like, it just makes so much sense when you say it out loud.
Right?
So yeah, why would they sell you on the first time? They just met your skin.
Exactly.
And skin's weird, which we know. Like, you obviously know more than me, but even just with my own skin, or like, I remember having girlfriends over and I'm like, well, here's a face mask. And I remember my friend going tomato red, face on fire, and I'm like, I'm using this and it's completely fine. So skin can be weird. So that makes sense. Why would they sell you on the first go if they don't actually know? That's been some other tea on TikTok that I've seen, like medical grade skincare. I don't know if you have any comments on it.
Yeah, okay. Sure, yeah.
Maybe like a little.
So in the studio, I do mostly use medical grade skincare, only because I love the results that I get from them. And for me, if you're paying for a service, why are you going to pay for products that you could just get at like Walmart or Shoppers or Sephora? Yeah. Like, I might as well just use like a higher end skincare line so that it feels more luxurious to you, but it also is giving you the results that you need. Right. That's not to say that you can't get the results from drugstore ingredients and products. Medical grade was just a term that was made up for marketing purposes. Okay. There's really no such thing as medical grade versus like drugstore. It's just all marketing. Wow. You can literally find amazing drugstore products. Like, I use Vichy Mineral 89 in my studio. That's the only hyaluronic acid product I'll use on my clients because there's nothing else like it. Right. There's no medical grade product that is like that product. Right. Same with the thermal spray. Right. Like, I'll go in between Avene and La Roche-Posay because there's nothing like it. I mean, it's just a term.
That's crazy.
Just because it's a 30% AHA because it's medical grade doesn't mean it's going to be good for your skin. Right. Right? Right. So it's just, you pick and choose. The thing is if you've tried everything and like the drugstore stuff isn't working for you,
Right.
then that's when I would put like my clients who have acne prone skin on a diligent routine using my skincare products that are medical grade.
Right.
And then they see like a huge difference. So.
Yeah. But if you're getting away with the drugstore stuff,
Then keep using it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, okay, I guess we could get into now, like, I know we're going to talk about acne, obviously, so we may as well dive in because I don't know how long we could, like, I could probably talk about acne forever because there's multiple levels at which I'd want to talk about acne. But let's keep with this trend of, like, the esthetician. Like, when someone comes to you with acne or a skin issue, the bedside manner of an esthetician really matters. And that's something I always say about Jackie is like, I feel so comfortable in every decision she's making for my skin because it's like really made with sympathy. And I feel like sometimes I go places and I'm like, I'll ask them questions and they don't really know the answer, or like, they're like, well, I do this and it works. And I'm like, okay, you have perfect skin. So like the way you address clients, I guess, like, do you like having, I don't know, like, how does it work with, like, clients? Like, am I the only one that's always asking questions, or is that a typical experience?
It's typical.
Right.
Definitely typical, because when they're coming to me, like, I'm the expert, right? So they are asking, it's like a therapy session almost for you as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're getting, like, a whole load of information that in one session.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, instead if you go home, you have to search the internet. Why not just ask me?
Yes.
It's pretty much all my clients.
Right.
And it's funny because when I get facials, I just want to be quiet.
Right.
I just want to relax, but almost like 99% of my clients are asking me questions and talking the entire time.
Right.
So.
I wonder if that's also, though, like, with all the misinformation that is out there now, like, that we like, encounter so much, like, crap on the internet. Some of it's crap, some of it's great. Like, there's great skinfluencers. Like, I'm sure, like, you would agree. I think most people would agree there's great skinfluencers, so it's not saying that. It's just there is a lot of information out there. So when you get the source of someone who's, like, actually studied it, it is fun to fact check.
Totally.
Like, I feel like that's almost what I'm doing every time I get, like, a facial. I'm like, oh, like, a random thing will pop in my head. I'm like, I'm going to ask about that. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you get a lot of, do you get a lot of aging questions?
Not so much.
Okay.
Because most of my clients, like, focus on acne or, like, big pores or oily skin.
Okay.
I do have a couple, like, mature clients, and they always say, oh, what can I do to get rid of these wrinkles? And it's obviously, like, the same, like, Tret, retinol, sunscreen.
Yes.
But not as much, like, as you think about, like, how can I start? Like, it's just right now, if you want to start at the age 25, it's retinol and sunscreen.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
And, like, eating healthy, and
Yeah.
if you want to do Botox, you can.
I was going to say, because, like, those are other interesting things that are, like, involved now, I guess. Like, that could be, I guess it's, like, now Botox and such is a bit of an easy fix. And the things you're providing are more of, like, we're going to have to do 3 to 6 sessions to get you where you maybe want to be. Would devices ever be the same as, like, Botox? Like, because they're just maybe too different, right?
Nothing is ever going to give you that instant result.
Right.
Like, Botox, you have to wait 5 to 10, sometimes 2 weeks to see full results.
Yeah.
But, like, nothing is going to give you that much of a frozen look.
Right.
Unless you do, like, really, really deep lasers.
Right.
And even you know yourself, because we both do Fraxel.
Yes, yeah.
You think that your face is going to look perfect after, and then it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It takes a long time to get there. So I feel like maybe in, like, Korea, where like the technology is a little bit more advanced but hasn't come here yet, I feel like there is probably something like that.
Right.
But not here.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I've gotten so many random, like, devices trying to fix my acne scars, and I still have, like, it's so much better.
You know what?
It's
I
coming
must say,
far.
your skin is the best I've ever seen it.
100%, it definitely is.
Right?
Huge thanks to you, and then also because I started Tret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think Tret's making a huge difference?
I think it's making a huge difference. But yeah, so I am on tretinoin, but let's talk about acne, because let's say I'm 18 again and I've just started my acne journey. What would have been the best thing for me to go do?
So how bad was your acne?
It wasn't so bad at 18. It was, like, mainly, like, on the cheeks, and then it got, I would say, mild to severe when I was 21.
Okay.
But it started at about 18.
So the first thing I would do is Okay, honestly, I want to say go to your doctor, but unfortunately at the time when we were 18, the first thing that they'd recommend is birth control.
Yes,
birth
100%.
control, birth control. And that is a Band-Aid that will truly not fix your acne.
Yeah.
Maybe temporarily,
Yep.
but once you're off, all of my clients that have gotten off birth control are in my studio right now to fix their face, to fix their acne because they came off the pill and now their hormones are crazy and they never dealt with the acne beforehand.
Right.
So today there's so much good research out there and like resources like social media.
Yeah.
So do what you can afford in terms of skincare. Stick to a solid skincare routine.
Yes.
Like just three, 4 products max. Try and eat the best as you can. Cut out dairy.
Try it.
Just try to cut out dairy.
Yeah.
Honestly, it made such a huge difference for me personally, and all my clients who have done it, they say the same thing. If you do go to your doctor, just tell them like straight up, like birth control is out of the question.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do to fix this?
The root of the problem. I don't want a Band-Aid.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, if you're on birth control, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
But there's it's just. What you're saying, though, is like...
If you don't need to go on birth control because you don't want to go on it, and the only reason why you would go on it is to fix acne, then there's other solutions.
Yes, yeah, don't feel like you have to... It's the only option. Because the other thing that happens is Accutane. Like, and you went on Accutane. Mm-hmm. I've always been way too scared, but it was pretty much that reaction. Every time I went to a doctor, it was like they would either fix my birth control, or they'd be like, well, do you want to go on Accutane? Mm-hmm. And I was like, no. Because I was just... Like, I have autoimmune diseases, so I've just been, like, extra scared. But you had a good experience on Accutane?
Yeah, I loved it. Okay. I mean, for me personally, it changed my life because I had acne from when I was, like, 14 all the way to about 22. And once you're 22, 23, you're like, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, you're coming into an adult.
Oh, yeah.
Why am I still dealing with this? So it was like the last resort for me because I did ask my doctor to go on Accutane when I was like 17 and she told me no.
Right.
So I had to ask again and it was life-changing because one day my skin was like full of acne and then the next I didn't have acne anymore.
It's honestly so incredible, and sorry for the sirens going by. Welcome to Toronto. But it's so amazing. And I remember, like, I was afraid of it, but I had a friend who had a really bad time on it.
Oh, okay.
So I think your first interaction with it can... like really affect things. But then I remember going on like some of these trips and talking to dermatologists who are like, relax, like it's not as scary as you think.
It's not.
But taking something orally can be not the right option for people with acne. Like not everyone's gonna choose that path. Even though like if I could have had a time machine and tested it out in hypothetically and then see it work out, like I would have been on it. Like if I could have learned like your liver will be fine at the end of this and blah blah blah, my God, would I have taken Accutane? But okay, so prescriptions aside that you would take orally, topically we want to have like a simple skincare routine.
Make sure there's like a salicylic acid in there. If that doesn't work for you, there's benzoyl peroxide.
Right.
If that doesn't work for you, there's like succinic acid. You could try gentle exfoliations like glycolic or lactic. It's not the same as salicylic and benzoyl peroxide in terms of like killing acne, but I mean, it's something.
Right. Levels to try.
Exactly.
Right. And play with, I guess, because all skin is different. Like, also, like, and I'm not a professional, so nobody take my advice, but like, on the holistic side of things, I just think, like, my acne was definitely because my body was so angry. Like, I don't really think there was anything on earth I could have done, maybe Accutane or something like that. But until I fixed the health of my body, I don't think my acne was going to go anywhere.
Right.
That's, like, a theory I have from just life experience. But I think it is important to know, because even when you were saying, like, cutting dairy is super helpful for you, some people cut gluten and it's like helpful to their acne.
Gosh, yeah,
right? Like,
sorry, that's a big one too that I should have mentioned. Gluten
right, like
is a huge one.
I've heard some people being like, I cut eggs and my acne, like, so it's sometimes like it is an internal something going on.
Something is going on inside your body, and I think that's like the conclusive thing that I hear derms talk about too.
Right.
Like, I'm not a derm by any means, but internally something is happening, whether it's your hormones, there's an imbalance,
inflammation,
something is happening inside the body. And everybody's so different.
And you can't, it's so frustrating, like, because you can't just like go inside and do the detective work. It's like the longest, most painful journey I've ever been on in my life. And I feel like I've literally tried everything. And the only things that have worked for me is seeing professionals. Like for me, like, this is going to sound crazy, but you can fact check it. But like, I think it's about cell turnover for me, like for keeping my skin clear. So going to see like you getting like microneedling done, hydrobrasion even, like anything that was turning over my skin cells was so helpful for me. And now that's what the Tret's doing.
Perfect.
Which is what's working for me. But someone could go on that path and it not work. So seeing estheticians can be expensive.
Totally.
But super worth it.
Yes.
Obviously. What's your recommendation of like when it might be time to like go see an esthetician?
If you have tried everything that you could, even seeing a doctor, and nothing is working.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Here's I could like dive deep into this.
Okay.
But when you go see a doctor, they prescribe you a medication. You see them for 20 minutes, and then you leave and you don't see them again for 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
With an esthetician, for me, like personally, I like to look at what your goal is, and then I see you as much as you can come in to see me. And then we work through a treatment plan because I want to make sure that I see like every step of the way.
Yeah.
So if you've tried everything, like diet, products, doctors, and it's still not working, come see an esthetician.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And I'll just say for the sake of the rats, because everyone knows I always do like little like, not trigger warnings, but essentially the diet thing, I personally like almost developed like an ED because of acne.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because I got so anxious about what I was eating that all of a sudden it was starting to just become food was giving me anxiety. So I'm just going to put that out there that like the diet thing, though, can be super helpful. Please be careful.
Totally.
And please know, like, acne is not, like, preventing acne is not worth going down a dark path with food. So you are so much more worth you're so much more than your skin. It's not worth, like, developing bad things. And some people go down that path and have no problem with it. I weirdly started really struggling with food, and, like, I would, like, drink a latte and, like, start crying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like crying, like, hysterically because I thought, oh my God, it's going to give me acne. It was really bad.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm always, like, a little hesitant with the food thing, even though it goes back to what I was saying. Like, once I fixed my body, which was health, like, it was, like, eating the right things, like, exercising the right way, hydrating enough. It's a fine, I just want to note that it's a fine line, and I don't want anyone to go down the dark path I went down.
Totally. That's very important.
It is really important. So I always mention it when I bring it up because it just like weirdly, and I actually talked to another creator who had a similar experience, and I was like, it's not talked about a bunch, but
never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, like, obviously that's a very important thing, but if you do love something and you don't want to cut it out, don't.
Yes.
Just remember, like, everything in moderation.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, that's what I had to learn. But again, I think it's just because I was at a vulnerable age and I was having all this internet information, and it was all about the food and everything was my fault. That's another narrative that I really hate. Is like, it's always the person's fault. It's what you're eating, exactly.
Because you can be doing all of these things and none of it can work.
That's the thing. Like, I was at a point in my life, I had cut everything you could cut. I was eating like a rabbit, like, and my acne was still there. Like, there was nothing on God's green earth I could have done because I just wasn't hitting the right mark of like what I had to solve. So yes, diet might work for someone and solve all of your issues, but it can also lead you down a dark path, and it could also not work. So I like that. Like, just if you love something, like, please don't cut ice cream in the summertime or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or like,
no.
like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not the right person to like discuss that, but I just always like to flag it.
For sure.
So let's talk about acne and confidence, because we've both had acne, and you may not know this, but Jackie's currently a bride. I've done my bridal journey, but I feel like we can get into the conversation a little bit of like, the beauty standards for brides, clear skin for brides, because Jackie had to go through me, like, panicking essentially about like my skin before my wedding, and you gave me great advice. Like I almost started Tret before my wedding, and Jackie was like, "Do not do that," because I was too close.
Yes.
I was too close to the wedding, and it was the right advice because my skin is still peeling.
Purging a little.
Purging a little, but mainly like the peeling. Like you see, the makeup is not cute.
I
Like,
would have never noticed, but yeah.
I would have. Like so, it was good advice. But yeah, how are you feeling?
I think because it's so far out,
Still good.
it's still okay.
Nice.
I do, so it's not so much my acne for some reason. For me, my biggest thing is my acne scars.
Okay.
And I think you can relate to that very well.
I 1,000% can.
Because, for weddings, you hire a professional photographer, and the camera picks up on every little detail. And I don't know why. I mean, like, I wish it didn't bother me so much, but just thinking about my scarring and if it's going to be in every single photo, and it's like, I just want that perfect, smooth skin. And even, I think this is important to say as an esthetician, I think it's beautiful when your esthetician has gone through problems with their skin, because they can really be empathetic to your situation.
I was going to say that too, because I was like, I'm sure someone could be like, how can I take advice from you if you're still struggling? Like, no, that's why you should, because she freaking gets it.
I get it.
She gets the journey. That's why I love going to you. Like, and I've recommended you to so many people because genuinely, that's the kind of person I want to go to. Someone who actually cares. Because if you have perfect skin and you're an esthetician, I'm not trying to beat up on you, but like, sometimes I've gone and I'm like, okay, you just don't get it. Like, you don't get why I'm worried. You don't get my fears at trying a new thing today.
Or insecurities.
Or like the questions I may have or the assurance I may need during a thing. Like, this is who I'd want to go to.
Exactly.
Because even if we had differing skin conditions, like let's say I just had
we
rosacea
did.
or something. Yeah.
Just because you have acne scars and I do too, it's different.
It's still different. And it's like having someone that like actually gets it is, for me, very important, because I've just gone to people who haven't gotten it, and I don't think I got the best advice. I've gotten the best advice from you. Like you saying, like, maybe don't try Tret yet. Someone with perfect skin would be like, yeah, that's proven to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because they haven't fucking used it.
Yeah, like, exactly. Oh my gosh.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, they haven't had to Google the dark sides of, like, Tret. They're just like, oh, statistically, that works, which is true. So they wouldn't be wrong. It's just you're getting, like, I think, better advice sometimes when someone's gone through it, or at least could understand hesitations and have hesitations for you. So anyways, that's a good little note to
we went
add in.
off topic.
We went off topic, but that was important to say.
We were talking about wedding, how am I feeling? Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take the proper steps to hope to get my skin into a better place.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could say here and, like, I wish I could sit here and say, like, it's okay, I'm going to be confident on the day of whatever. I'm like, everybody's skin is different. Even if you have like perfect skin, you're going to be worried about something else.
100%.
My thing is like, I don't want my acne scars to shine through my photos. And if they do, and if I do see it in my photos, I might have to tell my photographer, like, can you just blur it just a little?
And there's no shame in that. Like, so I don't think you've obviously listened to many episodes of like Gratitude Check, but I talk about this all the time. Like, the wedding journey for me, like the struggle of feeling super vain and like, shouldn't I be above this? Shouldn't I know I'm more than my skin, but there's something weird about weddings and the beauty standard. And I just think it's just something for me was like, growing up, like, you do picture your wedding, whether you like picture it a lot or not. I always thought, oh, when I'm that age and I'm getting married, I'll have perfect skin. Like, why would I still be going through this? So to kind of the acceptance of being like, oh, this life event is happening now, and I don't look the way I always thought I was going to, is kind of tricky. Or you're not looking the way every other bride is looking. Also super tricky. And then society telling us that, yes, brides should be a perfect creature. This should be the most beautiful day of your life. All of that combined makes for really a tough journey with beauty, I think, when you're a bride.
Totally. I agree. I mean, it doesn't help looking at Pinterest and seeing all the perfect brides and all of that. And, we can go back and forth, and maybe it's because their pictures are edited and whatever, which doesn't help. But at the end of the day, like, I want to look my best.
Yep.
And if that's my one insecurity, then so be it.
You got options.
Like,
yeah. No, like,
so be it.
that's the thing. Like, in this life is so short. You have to just look out for you. Mm-hmm. Like, if that, even if that piece of information can just give you peace of mind to not freak out about your skin for a year, great. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I can edit. Like, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like, and I know this is coming from me, like, Miss Filter Free, Miss, like...
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
No, don't get me wrong.
Skin all the way.
Yes, I think it's really important, but for something...
But wedding is a big topic.
Yeah, and it's not like you're going to go online and pretend your skin... Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going to be like, yeah, I fixed it by this day. I was perfect. Mm-hmm. No, you're just going to, for when you frame that nice photo for
on my wall,
on your wall, hey, maybe she's going to get it. But that has nothing to do with anybody else.
No.
If that brings you peace.
Exactly.
You know? But it is like a really complicated, I think, like, dilemma, because editing, skin brushing, it affects so many. It's not positive, typically.
Yeah, because,
Because, you know, then it causes... This is how we were made, right?
Yeah.
We're insecure because of that. But then when your turn, it's a vicious circle is what I'm trying to say. It's like, now your turn's coming up and it's like, well, the beauty standard's still this, so I don't feel good. And so who's to say now, like, you're toxic? Like, it's like, well, society is actually toxic. Like, leave the individual alone. So I think if you got to do that, you got to do that. But at the end of the day, like, we all know we're more than our skin. But my point is even if you edited that, it doesn't make a difference, because, as we're saying, like, you are more than your skin.
Right.
So why would
anyone care?
Why would anyone? Well, like, no, like, not care, but, like, if whether it's there or not, you're still you.
Right.
Like, you, the human, is the important part.
Yeah.
So what you choose to do to feel comfortable with something that's a really big day and you're paying a lot of money for, and you want some peace of mind.
I mean, who's to say, like, maybe next year, after all the treatments that I do, like, I'm talking about laser, microneedling, microdermabrasion, chemical peels, if my skin is where I want it to be, then, like, I'm not, or maybe I won't even care. Maybe I'm just going to embrace it.
Exactly.
But right now, because where I am, and I'm confidently saying this, is that I'm insecure about my acne scars showing up in pictures. No shame. Like, that's where I'm at. My mindset is at.
Yep.
Because I want my skin to be perfect. But thankfully, I have so much time. So we're going to do all the work to get there.
And if it's not, you're still gonna have an amazing day.
Of course,
it's all that stuff, and then you can edit. You can do whatever you want. Like, I just posted the episode that went up today. Actually, was about, like, that bride, because I'm saying, like, I think it's made up that any one bride. There's no one effortless, perfect bride. Everyone had some sort of baggage they carried to that altar that day.
Exactly.
Like, nobody's scot-free.
Exactly. But they might never tell you.
That's what I'm saying.
They'll never tell you.
They'll
never tell you, oh, I hated the way that my arms looked,
my
hair, my makeup, even just, like, oh, my smile in pictures, anything.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is that we have to remember when we're looking at people's weddings on Instagram or Pinterest that look perfect, you don't know what was in their head that they didn't like.
Exactly.
Because there's always something.
There's always something. And that's, again, that's not on the bride. That's on society. Like, there's a problem, but, like, for one person on one day to fix the world, not necessary. It was like, for me, I knew I wasn't gonna, like, filter my photos, which made me, I think, even, like, more scared. But because I just have chosen this path of, like, being very filter free.
Yeah. Just
for the rats, you know, like, happy to do that. But I was fucking stressed. Like, if I knew I could just, like, why not take that off your plate? Like, again, like, who does it affect? Unless you went online and were like, I did this, this, and this to get a paycheck, when it's like, that wasn't the reality, you edited your photos.
Exactly.
That's fucked up.
Right.
You doing this for your own peace of mind in your own little world, not fucked up. You do what you gotta do to get through the wedding process. Like, seriously. And something we talked about when because I got really upset. I remember messaging you, I think, like, it was, like, October. That's when I had my reality check of, like, okay, my skin's probably gonna be this, because I was, like, 3 months out. And you can only get those kind of bigger procedures done every 4 to 6 weeks anyways. And then I booked an acting job, and they were like, you can't change your look. So, like, I was like, I was done. So we talked about, like, okay, what can I do? I can have really healthy, glowy skin. So then we shifted and we focused on that. And that brought me confidence, because even though even though I was gonna have the scars I had, and potentially some acne, I could still have like beautiful, dewy, plump, bridal skin in my own way.
Exactly.
So like carving out new pathways, I think, is really big for insecurities. And it's just such a tough thing. Like I just want to like hug everyone that has to like go through like an insecurity thing. Like it's just so sad. Like I almost got lip filler before my wedding. Because I've always been like insecure about my lips. I know for a fact I would look better if I had lip filler, right? And then like the wedding's coming up and I had to do all this like mind fuck, like soul searching.
Just
like,
talk yourself
are
out
you
of it.
doing this because of a bridal beauty standard? And the answer was yes. Like, well, that's not a good reason to go really alter your face because you're panicking. That's never good. So I don't know if you have any like advice, like when someone comes in and they are like freaking out, is there anything you find is helpful to tell someone? Like if I came to you and I'm like, okay, I've got 1 month to my wedding. You've never met me before. What's the advice? Like let's say someone's like a month out and it's like, this is the skin I have. What can I go do?
I guess it depends on everyone's skin will be different.
Yeah.
So it depends on like what their goals are.
Right.
But I would just say stick to what you're doing now if it's working for you. And then we can just focus on, like I said, keeping you glowy for your perfect day. If you don't have acne, then we can do dermaplaning, which is my favorite treatment for bridal because it just removes all the peach fuzz so that makeup application can go well. But just don't freak out because either way,
I know
you're going to look beautiful on your day.
You are. It's just so sad. Like, it's so
know.
sad because I look at Jackie and I'm like, you're one of the most beautiful humans, genuinely. Like, the genetic lottery.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
Your facial structure and everything. You're so gorgeous. So I think it would actually shock people to hear, like, that this gorgeous woman is insecure about something. And we're a year out. And it's like your brain's already churning. Like, that's the sad reality of being, like, a woman in today's society with this beauty standard. And then Bride makes it all the worse. What are your plans though? More Fraxel? Like, is that something for scars that you recommend?
Yeah, so I actually just got one done in February and I just love the way it makes my skin look afterwards. Like my makeup goes on so well. I have 2 sessions left, so I'm gonna finish those. And then I'm gonna do my radiofrequency microneedling on my face, like just on me. I'm gonna try to do that every like 3 months or so, but summer's coming, so it's a little bit difficult.
Right.
And then try to do some chemical peels, so basically Fraxel, microneedling, chemical peels, and just keep a good skincare routine, hydration. I'm not using any retinol just because I'm scared for breakouts.
Yeah.
But like just really focusing on like peptides and a lot of hydration and firming up the skin with like retinol alternatives. So like resveratrol from Caudalie is great that I love.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I want to bring up because like all of that costs money and that was like a similar journey that I was on my wedding. So I just made it a part of the wedding budget because I was like, this is a priority to me.
Yeah.
And then I personally cut flowers. Like, you know what I mean? Like something's got to give,
flowers.
right? Like, but that's the point. Is like you just have to figure out like what's important to you. And unfortunately, I really did feel like I was so messed up about my acne, like having acne on my wedding day. I was so stressed about it.
But you didn't have acne on your wedding day.
I did not.
I remember you had perfect.
I know.
It was perfect.
It was crazy. I had the scars, you know, but certain lighting, they showed up. Other lighting, it was like, like, you know, like, which is another thing. Like, lighting and angles will be a thing on your wedding day, too, which is, like, a whole other aspect to it. But, yeah, but that is because I went on, like, a really crazy, like, acne diet the month before. Because I felt, like, strong enough now. It had been, like, many years since I struggled with food.
Okay.
So I cut a million things. I was doing the spearmint tea.
Up until your wedding?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was it helping?
I had clear skin on the day.
Okay.
Like,
so it helped.
I think also, again, so this is why it's like so interesting because it's like I also have diabetes. So when I ate no processed food, no caffeine, had spearmint tea, was eating really healthy, my diabetes management was also really level. So there's no like insulin spikes, which can also cause acne. So I think everything like working together was
Yes.
effective. But I do look back on it and it's so funny because then I feel guilt because I'm like, that was so toxic. But like, there's no winning. There's no winning. This is a deep question. Do you feel, I feel immense pressure to, I don't want to use the word role model, but like essentially role model for women because we are online. Like I really fear being a part of the wrong narrative, like the change yourself narrative. But then when I'm on the natural narrative, there's pieces of me that are like, no, like I'm not fully happy with this. Like acne, it's like something I really struggle with.
So mine's a little different. I don't think I feel like in depth of that. I think sometimes I get a little bit in my head because if I'm recommending a product, I need to make sure that I honestly really like it because you're spending your hard-earned money to go buy it because of what I said. And if it's like absolutely like trash or garbage, I would feel horrible. And it to be honest with you, it's happened because I've had friends where I've recommended products because it worked amazing for me. And they used it and they got like a huge like rash or something. That's the problem. It's like everybody's skin is just so different.
It is so different. And every human is so different. Like even, I'm sure and kudos to them, I'm sure there's brides who have had acne, had acne scars, not worried one bit and rocked their wedding. And yet then there's people who are like maybe more susceptible to like what they're seeing online or affected in different ways. And I don't know. I think it's just, at the end of the day, it's giving Barbie movie, but I think it's so hard to be a woman. Like
it is.
It's just so hard. Like they want you to be a million things. Like even a bride, like I posted like that bride. I don't know if you're feeling any of these pressures, but like you have to have a perfect wedding, but be too cool for it. Like, you know what
I haven't felt that.
No? Okay.
I don't know, like, I'm not really, like, in my head about those things yet.
That's awesome.
I don't, like, thankfully, maybe closer to.
Or you're not a rap bride. Like, maybe you're just doing better. Like, that's fair.
I don't know what it is. I just feel like are you type A?
I don't know. I don't think so. You, for sure.
I'm
not,
A.
I don't think. No.
Like, I knew exactly what I wanted since I was little. Like, I've had my songs picked out since I was, like, 12 years old.
Okay.
So I kind of, like, knew, like what I was going to do.
Right.
And I kind of knew that, like, I actually see the opposite from, like, your mindset, I think, a little bit. And that's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think I, like, for me, I'm like, I deserve this. Like, this is what I have dreamt my whole life. Like, I am going to do everything that I can to get exactly what I want.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about.
No, it's actually perfect because I literally said that. Like, so we were talking about, like there's two spectrums, I guess, of bride, right? One that's like, I'm too cool, and one that's like, I want this.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay.
So, but like what I was saying in my episode is like, neither is a better person than the other.
No,
like
neither. And that's what made your wedding so special.
Right.
Which I loved.
Right. Like it's like everyone brings their own uniqueness to the table, and those are the best parts of any wedding.
Totally.
Like the couple, the like little cute moments. That's all anyone
Can I be
remembers.
honest with you though, actually? The one fear that I have in regards to my wedding is that people have this such high expectation for my wedding because of who I am, like what I do, me with the tennis ball.
Yeah.
Like what I do with the career, like I go to all these events. I'm constantly talking about my wedding or wedding stuff on social media because like of content.
Right.
I have a fear that like their expectations are going to be so high and I'm not going to meet them.
No, okay. I can
they're
help
gonna,
you with
or
this.
like you're gonna go to the wedding and you're gonna be like, oh, that's it. Like I expected more,
Let
and I'm like, I'm also on a budget.
Yes.
Like,
let me.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm gonna fix this for you. I love this. Let me walk you through what happens when someone gets an invitation to a wedding.
Okay.
Oh, honey, we have a wedding to go to. Okay. And they show up.
That's it. Like, are you
all,
sure?
I promise.
Okay.
Like, I promise. Like, anytime someone gets an invitation to a wedding, it's like, oh, either, oh, great, we've got another wedding to go to, or some people are like, oh, fuck, we've got another wedding to go to.
Yeah.
But no one's going, oh, Jackie. Now, I bet Jackie is gonna have a chocolate fountain.
I honestly feel like that's what everybody's thinking, and I need to get that out of my head because, like, I'm not even gonna tell you guys, like, it's just, I'm not even gonna say, like, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be excellent, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. No, but I feel like anytime anyone's invited to a wedding, it's like, it's a wedding. We all know the song and dance. Mm-hmm. It's pretty hard to veer far from, like, what they tend to be.
True. So,
like, everyone's like, oh, it's probably going to be a typical wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie has good taste. It'll probably be a pretty typical wedding. Like, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah, okay.
That's about
Maybe you're just really nice. Like, I don't know.
It could be.
No. Like, I don't know.
But that's my other point. If someone's getting that invitation and starts doing, like, evil eye shit on you, well, they suck. Mm. Like, fuck them. Like, don't even worry about, like, a rat like that. Jesus, you know?
Rat like that.
Yeah, like, no, don't pay those kind of bitches any mind. Like, people are just going to be either excited for you, and if they feel a different emotion, do not
Good
worry.
riddance.
Like, goodbye. Like, and that's embarrassing for them, and they already know that about themselves. Toxic people know they're toxic because they tend to be miserable people. So I wouldn't worry about them.
But yeah, I guess that's like mine. Like
that's your thing.
That's my thing right now.
That's
it's
so
acne
interesting.
Scars and that.
That's so interesting. There's always something. Like, that's what I'm saying. You never get out scot-free of, like, stress.
Never.
On something. But no, the expectations for weddings right now are just too much. Mm-hmm. Too much. And even, like, I'm not going to name a name, but, like, an influencer got married recently that was, like, a huge influencer. I'll tell you the name and then I'll cut it out. So,
oh yes, sorry.
So beautiful,
gorgeous, gorgeous.
But she's out there acting like, yeah, it was so chill.
It was definitely paid for. Half of it at least.
Yeah, like there was
sponsored.
Yeah, like there's no stress there. Like
by Vogue. Like by Vogue.
I'm like. I don't want to like get because I loved it. I'm not shading it.
No,
but it's like the pretending or like trying to. Even thinking that she maybe pulled that off without, like, by being so cool, it's like, well, if she did, it's because everything was done for her. Mm-hmm. Like, you're doing everything yourself.
I'm doing everything myself.
Like, why would you compare? You know what I mean? Like, so that's why comparison is so dangerous for that stuff.
But it was definitely a gorgeous wedding.
Absolutely.
For sure. Oh my goodness.
And don't you love, I mean, I used to joke, hey, if I had the budget.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it would have been a stunning wedding.
Like I would have hired that photographer.
I would have thrown, you should see what I could do with $1 million.
Exactly.
And I'm sure the same. But instead, that's just not the reality. Mm-hmm. Okay, but really quickly, back to skin. I'm just going to ask some, like, typical skin questions. Okay. So I'm just going to ask some typical skincare questions so that we can myth bust if you're online and blah, 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 blah.
All right.
Okay. Best sunscreen tip. Like, what are people doing wrong with their sunscreen?
What are they doing wrong? Not applying enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much do you need?
2 fingers.
2 fingers worth. Okay. What do you... Okay, this is like tea. What do you think about these, like, skincare makeup things coming out? Like SPF blush.
SPF blush. Okay. I haven't seen... Oh, yes. Oh,
there's a couple.
Yes, I just went to... Okay, listen, I like the idea. I don't think it's enough sunscreen.
It just can't be, because you're not putting it everywhere.
It is not. You're not putting it everywhere, but if it's like a good, like, reapplication of sunscreen, great. But, like, I don't understand it. It's not going to go all over your face. So that's not your main sunscreen for the day. It shouldn't be.
It's just like bonus sunscreen.
Bonus sunscreen, like reapplication on like your certain areas of the face. But that's it.
I'm confused by it personally.
But the makeups, or sorry, did you say skincare makeup or?
Yeah, skincare makeup.
The skincare makeup I love.
I like that, yeah.
It Cosmetics has a really good concealer with niacinamide and caffeine in it. Really great for brightening, especially because you're using concealer underneath your eyes. I think it's
so smart.
Genius.
Yep.
So it's great. I like the
House Labs is so good. It's got skincare in it.
I haven't tried it.
It's so good. You should try that one. I think.
Will.
It's really good. Yeah, totally into that trend. Okay, does hyaluronic acid have to go on damp skin?
Honestly, I do always put it on damp skin just because I like the way it feels on my damp skin better.
Okay.
I would talk to that with a dermatologist because
Okay.
there's just so many back and
Science
forth, and
There's so much back and forth on
with
it.
that one, and I just can't be bothered.
Best answer, I guess, it's safe to say you can put it on damp skin.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I like the feeling on damp skin.
Yeah. I do too. I feel like it
So,
absorbs better.
I do too.
I have no science
I
to back
think
that.
the science behind it, you're going to have to fact check this because I don't know off the top of my head, but I think it's because hyaluronic acid draws moisture
Yeah.
from your skin, so you don't want it to like dry out your skin putting it on dry skin because it's just going to draw out
That's
everything
what
from
I
underneath.
always thought, but then apparently it could be a myth, I guess. Right?
It does make more sense to put it on damp skin because
Yeah.
then it's just like keeping that moisture there.
Yeah.
So
So let's go with damp skin
let's
then.
just go with damp.
You can talk to your dermatologist. Either way,
Yeah.
both won't hurt you at least.
Yeah.
What are your feelings of vitamin C?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love vitamin C.
Would you recommend it to someone with acne? I've always been scared to use it.
I think it depends on what vitamin C you need to make sure, one, it's stable.
Yeah.
And that it's a really good formulation.
Yeah.
And what kind of vitamin C, because there's like L-ascorbic acid, there's ferulic. So really like do your research.
Okay.
Make sure, the number one thing is to make sure that it's stable because you don't want to buy a product where as soon as you open the bottle, it's garbage.
Right.
You're just wasting your money and it's not going to work.
100%.
But in regards to acne, if it's not going to break you out, it's going to work to lighten your pigmentation because everyone with
nice.
acne is going to have the dark spots and
Right.
pigmentation from those spots.
Does Tret do that too, though?
Lighten?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And would retinol do that?
Yes.
So there's a lot of ways to achieve skincare goals, I guess.
For sure.
So would that be good advice for someone, like, let's say, like, they tried vitamin C,
Doesn't work.
doesn't work for them? Should you just ditch it? Like,
No, because
Okay.
I think you need to keep trying until you find one that like really works for you.
Okay.
And the thing about vitamin C is like you can't try it for 2 weeks and then say it doesn't work.
Right.
Like minimum 6 weeks.
yeah, okay.
6 weeks or longer to really see, 6 to 12 weeks
Okay,
to really see the
Right.
difference.
that makes sense. What's another myth? What, do you want a myth bust or like what's
Okay, this one I've been seeing and I'm posting a video on soon because I friggin' hate it.
Okay.
All these estheticians are online right now claiming about acne safe foundation. There is no
Okay, thank
such
you.
frickin' thing
Thank you.
as acne safe foundation because a foundation that I use that can break me out, right? But you use that doesn't break you out.
Yeah.
You
No.
could say it's not acne causing. It doesn't cause acne on me, and then I can say, well, yes, it is because it causes acne on me. What the hell does that mean?
Oh my God.
Like there is no such. Yes, like there are products that have
Worse ingredients than
worse
others.
ingredients. Like if you're buying a foundation that's packed with like oils and fragrance and like
Right.
all this stuff, you might not want to use it if you have sensitive acne-prone skin.
Yeah.
So fine, but it's not like you can't label it
Like a
acne
blanket.
safe.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing. Ugh, it drives me nuts. There's
that's-
so many
that's what-
estheticians in the city alone that just preach garbage.
I
That's tea right there.
That is tea right there, but I freaking agree with it. It's always bothered me because I've always worn foundation. My foundation's never been the problem of my acne. Not once. You know what was? Not taking it off properly. That was a problem. Double cleansing saved my life. But never have I like used a foundation and been like, oh yeah, that's what's breaking me out.
Exactly.
But every time you go talk to someone, they're like, oh, you should wear no makeup. That's what they tell all people that you don't wear makeup. Man, there's too many rules. And they don't get it. But yeah, I'm glad you busted that one because it is so dumb. There's definitely stuff that has worse stuff for you than others. But yeah,
the
what works for one
label
might not
is
work for
not
the other.
is not like there's no scientific evidence to like back that up. So I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like everywhere. And another thing, obviously, is that sunscreen causes cancer because that's ridiculous.
Okay, those are really stressing me out. I've seen more and more and more, and I'm like, okay, the world is really stressing me out with this sunscreen thing.
Or that chemical sunscreens are worse for you than mineral.
Right.
I mean, that's a tricky one because when you're pregnant, you can't use chemical sunscreens.
Okay.
You can only use mineral.
So you
that
can
one's
see how
tricky,
things.
But like it doesn't cause cancer.
Yeah.
It prevents cancer.
There's a million things that are gonna give you cancer before your sunscreen does.
Yeah,
Starting with
exactly.
the water in our taps. Like, there is so
Exactly.
many more things to be concerned about. I'm not trying to, like, start misinformation,
No,
by the way,
no,
but,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I've seen so many TikToks where it's like, your water's bad. Oh, aspartame's gonna kill you. This is gonna kill you. Everything's gonna kill me. Like,
Everything.
everything nowadays.
We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die. Have you seen, oh, this is a fun one, because I actually want the answer on this, and I don't know if you'll know it. Have you seen the new thing coming out is that Tret and retinols are bad for your eyes and are ruining the glands in your
I
eyes?
did not hear anything about that.
I'm starting to see that, and it's really
From
freaking
who?
out. From
Like derms?
like certain derms online. I saw it on TikTok. I've seen 2 videos about it.
About Tret?
Tretinoin or like retinol ruining the glands in your eyes.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
I know, but anyways, it started scaring me. But there's just always something.
I think these derms, like, you have to remember that not every derm you see online even is a derm.
I know,
Like,
you
some
have
of
to-
them
you have
are
to-
just, like, wearing a uniform, they're still in school, they're in residency, they're still students.
Yeah.
They don't even have their own practice. Like, you have to be careful of who you're taking information from.
Oh,
but
big
there's
time.
a lot of amazing derms.
There is, and that might be a fact, by the way. I actually don't know it, but it's just like the new thing. But even lash serums, they were saying like,
Oh, yeah.
lash serums can deplete
heard.
your fat or whatever in your eye, or whatever that's called.
I've heard lash serums overall can be very dangerous.
Yeah. So it's really scary. So it's good to talk to professionals. So I guess we'll wrap this up now, but where can everyone follow you?
So my skincare studio page for facials is at Dymond Skin, Dymond Skin. And if you want to follow me on TikTok just for lifestyle, wedding tips, everything else, it's Jackie Dymond Skin.
Perfect. And I really appreciate you coming on. I feel like we covered everything, but I feel like I could talk about this
Forever. Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I just really appreciate you coming on and like being so honest with us. It's really awesome. And
Well, thank
I'm sure the
you.
rats will really appreciate it. So rats, you can leave a rating and review. Follow Jackie. If you're in the Toronto area, go get a facial from Jackie. The what is it called?
Hydrobrasion.
That's what I got before my wedding that
Yeah.
gave me like the crazy glow. I got like 2 or 3 of those.
You did. You got 3, I think.
I think I got 3, yeah. So anyways, that's one of my faves. And then you've also got other machines and she can talk to you about any of your concerns. But yeah, rats, that's the end of the episode.
Thanks, rats.